What's up? What's up? Welcome back. We are back in the stew after a long holiday weekend. I hope everybody had a great 4th of July holiday weekend. Everybody was safe. Everybody comes back with all their fingers. Joined as always, I am joined as always, I'm joined by Chris Brayton, a fellow citizen of Red Sox Nation. What's up, man? How was your 4th of July?
It was good. It was good. Had a nice little cookout with the family. Watch some TV. I didn't go to the fireworks this year. I decided I would stay at home and just relax a little bit. But but it was good. It was good. It was nice. It was peaceful. Nice little long weekend. Get some sleep. Recover a little bit and get back on the ball game. You know.
Heck yeah. Back to the old grind, the old ball and chain, man.
Yep. Absolutely.
Yeah, we didn't do much either. We just had the some family and friends and went to the beach. Like I said, it was like
Hmm.
120 degrees down here though, so it's not
Yeah.
exactly enjoyable.
Yeah. Right. Ooh.
Yeah. Cool,
Definitely.
cool. Well, let's dive right in, guys. I know you're on a tight schedule, Chris. You gotta get out of that front seat in about 25 minutes.
Yeah, yeah. Don't worry, guys. I'm not driving. I'm just sitting in the seat. Don't worry.
All right, cool. Let's just get right into it, man. I'll give you a little breakdown of the slate real quick for everyone. It's real simple tonight, I think. There's
Mhm.
two spots, Fenway Park and Great American Ballpark. I think these
Mhm.
are all priority targets if you're playing
Absolutely.
the main slate tonight. Fenway is going to be mid 80s and the wind's blowing out. So
Yeah.
that's prime hitting environment. Great
Yes, it
American,
is.
same thing. Kansas City is the other place where there's going to be warm weather, but the wind doesn't really affect them over there. Kaufman and the
Yeah.
MLB, but it's a scorcher there. I think it looks like it's in the 90s. Wow.
Yeah. Hmm. Yeah.
So
That's.
for me, I that was my read on the slate was I'm going to prioritize going after targeting Fenway Park, primarily
Mhm.
Red Sox hitters, and then
Yeah.
targeting Cincinnati hitters,
Yep.
and probably Blue Jays and Rays. Blue Jays and Royals. That's kind of how I have it so far.
Yep. No, that's very close to what I had too. I was looking at that specifically. I was looking at Red Sox, especially against Colorado. So not only having the hitting environment and the way they've been swing backs recently, but then going up against Gomber, that should be a solid matchup for them on top of that. And the same with you, the Reds. I believe they're facing the Marlins. So I had them a lot of their hitters sort of highlighted as well for tonight. So
Yeah, I noticed that. I think there's no. I don't think any current Red Sox has faced Gomber yet. But Gomber's been
yeah.
pretty bad, and I
Hmm.
think the advantage goes to the Red Sox hitters tonight. That
I
young,
agree.
talented offense is sort of finding this rhythm, and
Hmm.
it's contagious when you're a young ball team like that. You're swinging the bag good. It's very contagious. So look for
Absolutely.
them to continue riding high tonight against the lowly Rockies. Okay, so
Exactly.
that's kind of what we're looking to attack. We
Hmm.
kind of we sort of didn't have the same. We had a lot of the same plays here, but there was a few
Yeah.
spots we were different.
Yep.
And we'll talk about that as we go through. But I
Definitely.
guess we'll just go ahead and get started with starting pitching. I do want to say one thing. You
Yep.
Darvish is making his season debut tonight.
Oh,
Uh,
okay.
yeah, he's been battling right elbow inflammation
Yeah.
all season long.
Yep.
He's definitely going to be on a pitch count. I would stay
Oh,
away
for
from him no
sure.
matter what the price tag is. You might
I
get
agree.
50, 60 pitches out of you Darvish tonight if you're lucky. That's two,
Absolutely.
3 teams maybe. Just stay away. Don't play
Absolutely.
Darvish at all. So, all right.
Yep. I agree with that.
All right, cool. Well, let's go ahead and get started with starting pitching. I guess I'll start us off and
Okay.
we'll go from there.
Perfect.
So
Perfect.
I don't know how if everybody can see that screen, okay, but we've got him here ranked. You say Kikuchi Jake DeGrom, and then Jose Barrios. Now, I wasn't going to go Jose Barrios, but actually, when I saw you have him on the list there, I took a second look at him. I like that. Make the case
hmm
for Jose Barrios for me real quick.
Yeah, so I just think number one, the fact that they're playing uh where they are Kansas City, I think they should. That's generally a good matchup for Toronto, anyways. I think they're gonna win that game. And then Barrios is coming off a fantastic outing, his last outing, and I just feel like he's really sort of he's figured something out, and he should be continuing to trend in a positive direction. And so the combination of where Toronto is right now as a team, who they're facing, and then his personal recent success, I just buy into him having another good outing tonight, and carrying that momentum.
Yeah, okay, I like that. Yeah, I will definitely have him in my player pool. Now, I kind of was overlooking him. I wasn't keying in on pitching at Kaufman, but no, everything you just said about him is all good reasons to play him.
hmm
Uh, we agree on Kikuchi. The
Yep.
price is great in him tonight. He's
hmm
what's it, 7,200. He's gone over 15 DraftKings points in 5 consecutive starts.
Yep.
Here at Stadium Rant, we have him projected for 6.8 strikeouts tonight. I mean, at 7,200, that's just great value. So I think I'm
Yeah.
locked in.
Absolutely.
Almost 100% of my lineups tonight will probably have you say Kikuchi. I mean,
Yes.
it's great value tonight.
100%.
Uh,
I agree.
and I think we're both in agreement on DeGrom. Uh,
Yep.
again,
Uh,
I wrote it down here. I can't find it. Yeah, oh yeah. So against the Angels, they are the second highest strikeout rate in Major League Baseball. Right. I mean, the only team
hmm
that strikes out more than the Angels are the Rockies. DeGrom
Yeah.
is he's got 21.5 or more DK points in 7 of his last 10 outings. So
hmm
yeah, he's in good shape too. I like DeGrom. I
Exactly.
think he's probably him or Kikuchi will probably be the highest scoring pitcher tonight.
hmm
I lean DeGrom just because I feel a little more confident in his matchup and his floor. Uh,
hmm
but yeah, all
Definitely.
great plays. I do want to say one thing. I was going to include Chris Sanchez on this list.
hmm
We left him off. I just for the listeners, 25 or more DK points in 4 of his last 5 starts. The current
Yeah.
Giant hitters are batting just 206 against them, and we've got him
hmm
projected for 5.7 strikeouts. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I like Sanchez tonight as well. So, any
Yeah.
combination of those 3 or 4 guys looks good.
Yep.
Anybody you
Yeah.
left
Definitely.
off? Anybody you
Nope.
liked
And
or
I
stay
just,
away from?
yeah, the reason I had not put Chris Sanchez on there, because I did consider him too. I went purely with, as much as the Giants hitters have not done well against them, I just think the Giants as a team are better, and so that's the only reason why I didn't go with him. But I think everything you said about him is 100% accurate, so I don't think you can go wrong starting him either. So
Is that game in Philly? Is that game in
it's in
Philadelphia or
San Fran. It's in San Fran, which is good in
that's
the sense that it's a pitcher's park. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, Sanchez and Barrios basically same price,
Yeah.
similar projection. I think Sanchez has a little more upside, but I like Barrios' floor too. So
Yeah.
I don't think you can go wrong with either of
Yep.
them.
For sure.
All right, cool. So let's move on over to catcher.
Yep.
Go ahead and take us away here, man.
Definitely. Yep. So I think we both had Narvaez as our top guy. I just think, I mean, just like you talked about, at Fenway Park today, especially against the Rockies, I see that as a scoring haven for the Red Sox, especially how their offense has been looking recently, and Narvaez has been one of the most um, consistent hitter in the Red Sox for a while now. So I look at him as having a great ceiling tonight. With the conditions that are there, and then I know we also agreed on Kirk. as well. We both had Kirk in there, probably for a similar reason. Blue Jays, facing the Royals. I think that's a good matchup. And I just think Kirk is swinging a good bat, and he has some power there. And then there was the third one that we deferred on. So I don't know if you want to talk about. I think you said Goodman, right? You had Goodman going there.
Yeah, I said Goodman, but really he's pricey. And I
Yeah.
like actually I like your pick better. I like Tyler Stevenson better. I think
Yeah.
he's a better all around play. Um,
Mhm.
Again, Great American Ballpark, hitting in the middle of that lineup maybe. Um,
Yeah.
I just think it's a better play. Goodman with the wind blowing out at Fenway,
Yeah.
he might run into one, but I think
Yeah.
I looked at our projections and uh, Stevenson's got a higher
Mhm.
probability of a home run tonight, over a
Yeah.
thousand simulations up the slate. So,
Yeah.
Stevenson, I'm ready to lock it down with him too.
Yeah.
I
That's
will say
fair.
that
Yeah.
what further point on Carlos Narvaez,
Mhm.
Gomber, like we talked about, he's been pretty bad over the last
Yeah.
10 starts, and
Mhm.
Narvaez has scored 8 or more DK points in 6 of his last 10 starts. So
Mhm.
when I looked at the home run probabilities tonight, he's right up there, like 23%.
Absolutely.
So I mean,
Mhm.
Narvaez just seems like another
Yeah.
lock button at catcher, man. Just
I agree.
it seems like I've been saying that a lot this season. I like that
It
too.
had been. I know, right? Yeah. You never know. You never know with guys. It's awesome to see him coming into his own, and he's becoming one of the best. I mean, I think he was a shafted of the All Star game, but I think he's becoming one of the most reliable catchers out there right now. So I feel like we're going to say his name often in these three ups. You know what I mean? I just think he's just been so consistent. For a while now. So
Yeah, the bat plays, but he's got an arm back there.
he
You
does.
got to be quick
He
to run
does.
on him. All right,
Mm-hmm.
so let's move over to first base.
Yep.
Let's see. I think we're pretty much in agreement on everybody here.
Yep.
We both agree. Vladdy feels like the best first base
Absolutely.
tonight. The
Absolutely.
team is hard for me to swallow 5,200, but if you look at the guys like Rony Gonzalez at 4,400, there's not a huge discount there, and
No,
I feel a little better about Vladdy than I do
I
Romy.
do too. Agreed.
Although again, Romy in the F Fenway and this hitting environment's good. So
Yeah.
the one place I went, and I think we were different here, was I prefer Salvador Perez. You had
Mm-hmm.
sort of made the case for Spencer Steer. Um,
Yeah.
Tell me what did you see there?
I mean, mostly with Steer, I was just looking at the matchup and the fact that Great American Ballpark, and that looks like a good hitting environment tonight, and they're going against Miami. I mean, I know Miami had some pitching, but they're not a particularly good team. So I just like Steer, at home, in front of the home crowd with the plus hitting conditions that they're in. I bought into him having a good game tonight. So.
Yeah, he probably will. I'll end up playing Salvador Perez and Steer will score 30 points or something.
Right.
So all
Yeah.
right, cool. All right, listen, I'm trying to speed this along here for you. Let's
Take
move
your
over
time.
to second base. If I
Mm-hmm.
can see, there you go. All right. Yeah, we both love Matt McClain here.
Yep.
Um, we both love Jonathan India,
Yep.
and I wasn't on. It's not that I wasn't on Marte. I just usually I don't try
Yeah.
to play those high priced guys. But to be
Yep.
honest, you know he's probably going to be the highest scoring second base on any given slate. His chances are better than
Mm-hmm.
most guys. So
Agreed.
you kind of have to put him in there. I like McClain. Again, like we said, that's a good hitting environment tonight.
Mm-hmm.
I think Jonathan India. The reason I like McClain and India both. Uh, McClain's going to bat near the top of the lineup. We've got
Mm-hmm.
a pretty good team total there. I think it was over 5 runs last time I saw. Same thing with the Royals. India is going to be batting leadoff for them.
Mm-hmm.
I think anytime I can
Yeah.
get a leadoff guy in the $3,000, $3,500 range, I'm gonna take that. That's a really good,
Absolutely.
especially when we're looking
Absolutely.
at five and a quarter, 5.5 run total.
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And just to add a little bit, the reason why I had thrown Kettle in there, truthfully, I mean, I think like you said, he's a good play no matter what. Usually, I mean, he's one of the best
Uh-oh.
second basemen of the league. Um, but I guess the reason I picked him specifically was I did not like the other second base option tonight. I didn't think there was a lot of great plays out there. Even like for example with the Red Sox, they have a good hitting environment, but I just don't love that what they've got going potentially for second base tonight. So that's sort of why I filled the third spot with him. I just felt like there wasn't anybody I felt super confident in outside of the two that we had already mentioned. So I put him in there as sort of a safe bet, expensive bet, but safe bet. So
Yeah, yeah, for sure. All right,
yeah,
cool. Let's move on over to third base then. And
absolutely.
yeah, we pretty much agreed on everybody here.
Yep.
Addison Barger, I think he was one of my considerations for my home run call of the day.
Yeah.
I like
Yep.
Addison tonight. Um, I just like him in this lineup. I think he's one of the Jays' better hitters.
Yes,
Um,
I agree.
Ryan McMahon, as much as it pains me as a Red Sox fan to say it, I think he's got a shot
Mm-hmm.
to put up a big score tonight in Fenway.
He
And
does.
then Gavin Lux, again, just hitting in that Reds lineup, good hitting
Mm-hmm.
environment, a
Yep.
fantastic source of salary relief. To get
Exactly.
access to that offense at 3,200 is pretty good. If you are stacking Reds batters tonight, whether you're doing 4 or 5 uh,
Mm-hmm.
stacks, Gavin Lux pretty much has to be part of that.
Absolutely, I agree with that. 100%. Yep. My default today was pretty much if there was a Red Sox or a Reds player to throw in there, more likely than not, I did.
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
you know.
Yeah,
Um,
it's been for a few nights now. I mean, the Red
yeah,
Sox have been clobbering the ball.
yeah, they have, they have. So,
All right, a shortstop. I think we both agree Ellie De La Cruz is
hmm,
probably you know, it's hard for me. I think Trevor Story has a chance to put up a big number tonight, but
hmm,
Ellie in the middle of that lineup, I just, I think he's got probably the best odds to score 10,
I
11
agree.
points in the shortstop tonight. And we have him projected for 10.5. Yeah.
Yep.
Make the case for Story and Clement for me.
Yeah. So Story, I was sort of going. He's just been swinging, looking a lot better recently. And being at home, he just built so well for Fenway Park. His swing is built well for Fenway Park, and going against Gomber, and with the hitting environment that's there, and the fact that the whole Red Sox team has sort of been swinging a good bat recently, so he's got some protection around him right now. I just feel like all those elements add up to Story having. I mean, I could see him hitting a home run, but at minimum, cranking a double or two off the green monster. I mean, I certainly think that's well within the realm of possibility for him tonight. And then Clement, just I buy into his bat in certain matchups. I don't love him all the time, but I felt like against Kansas City tonight, it felt like a solid matchup. I felt like he had some good protection around him as well. I think Toronto's playing well. I think although the conditions aren't great because it's Kaufman, the conditions were fairly favorable for him as well. So I just like the totality of that specific matchup for him tonight.
Yeah, I agree. Like I said before the broadcast, if I'm prioritizing the Reds, the Blue
Hmm.
Jays, and the Red Sox tonight. So
Yep.
if and I look what we get here, we got one shortstop, high price, one guy kind of middle salary, and one
Hmm.
guy kind of in there, salary
Yeah.
saver. If I'm spending up
Absolutely.
tonight, it's definitely Ellie De La Cruz in the middle of that
Oh,
lineup.
100%. 100%.
I love Story, like you said. I mean, he scored 10 or more DK points in 5 of his last 10. I think I saw, and he is the
Hmm.
veteran um, hitter leader on
He
that
is.
team. Really. He
He
sort of
is.
put the
Yeah.
sides on his back right now, and
Mm-hmm.
I just love what he's doing, and I like him tonight. And then yeah,
Definitely.
Clement, like I said, if I'm the Blue Jays, I want access to that offense as well.
Mm-hmm.
Clement makes sense. Great, great source of salary relief. Guys like
Mm-hmm.
Clement, guys like Gavin Lux, we're going to need them in our lineup tonight. So,
Mm-hmm. For sure. For sure.
all right, so let's move over to outfield.
Yep.
I think, yeah, this is a pretty solid list here, man. TJ
Mm-hmm.
Friedel, I mean, obviously, I
Yep.
know what we're doing there. He's got a solid projection too, 9.3 points. He's got tremendous upside in this matchup. Yeah, give me TJ Friedel.
Yep.
Sagan, Rafaela, love it. Um,
Mm-hmm.
Great source of salary relief in that other high scoring game. And then
Mm-hmm.
make the case for Springer. You love Blue Jays bats tonight.
Yeah, I don't know. I just defaulted to him. I do. I like the matchup for Toronto tonight. I think the hitting environment is favorable for them, and I think the offenses look good recently, and they've sort of been feeding off of each other. And I mean, Springer's been looking better too. I mean, he's been one of the more consistent offensive players lately, as I believe, if I remember correctly, for the Blue Jays. And so I just like them tonight in Toronto. I mean, in Kansas City, and I mean, I guess I'm sort of doubling and tripling down with some of these players because I feel like at least one of them is going to have a good game. You know what I mean? Ideally, all of them do, but I just feel like putting a few of the Toronto players in there. I just feel like they're going to have a good game. They're going to win the game, and that's going to require some of these players to swing a hot bat, and so that's sort of my argument for Springer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When I'm looking at this list here, the uh, the probabilities to score 8+ runs here, um, we've got the Red Sox at a 25.2% probability. The Blue Jays, 18.6. That's fourth best on the slate.
Yeah.
For the viewers, what that is we you run the slate, you simulate it 1,000 times, and then
Mm-hmm.
we get a probability of scoring 8+ runs or not. So the Blue
Mm-hmm.
Jays were up there, Red Sox are up there, um, Rockies again up there, the Reds up there. So these are places we want to target,
Yeah.
for sure.
Definitely. It's interesting that the Rockies are on there, because we really didn't, outside of McMahon, we didn't necessarily pick Rockies, but I feel like that's a statement on their offense and how it's been performing as a whole that, they've sort of, even when they've had favorable conditions, they've been kind of ice cold, and the Rockies as a team as a whole this year have been really bad. So it's interesting that they're on there with a high probability to score a lot of runs despite the fact that their offense really hasn't shown much of their ability to do that, even when the conditions are favorable for them. You know.
They don't have a ton of pop in their lineup. These
Mm-hmm.
guys can string those hits together.
Yeah.
And you can do that against the Red Sox, and they'll kick the ball around too. The Red Sox
Yeah.
will give you extra outs. So the
Yeah.
Rockies definitely could put up a big number tonight. Just looking at this top 10 list, most likely to hit a home run, there's no Rockies in there. The
Yeah.
guys like McLean, Marte, Barger, Springer, your pick, these guys are all in the top 10. So,
Yep.
yeah, just good plays all around. All right, so before we
Definitely.
wrap it up, man, let's do our dinger of the day, man. Uh,
Yeah.
you you landed on Vladdy Guerrero. Okay, yep, you love the Blue Jays tonight.
I guess I do.
And I'll take Corey Seager. So
There you go.
yeah, anybody watching, if y'all want to get in on this, in the comments section uh, before tomorrow's show, send us a little comment. Hey, dinger of
Mm-hmm.
the day tomorrow, and we'll put you up here on this graphic too, and y'all can play against us and see how you do.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And you can also, if you ever have questions before a show after our live stream, you can always find us on Twitter or, X, Twitter, X, or Facebook, or, obviously in the comments of the YouTube videos as well. We're around. So send us some questions if you want. If you have specific questions about a matchup or anything like that you want us to answer on the show, we're around. And just quickly with my pick with Vladdy, I did have a couple other people I was considering at the time, but the reason I went Vladdy for the home run is I just think he's the biggest star out of the ones that I was looking at. The other ones I was looking at was more based on, the matchup of where they were playing as opposed to, me thinking that they're like a superstar talent, which is why I ultimately landed on Vladdy. I was considering Narvaez actually for the Red Sox was one of the names that I was considering. And I was considering a couple of Reds players, but I landed on Vladdy for the reason of the fact that I just think he's more likely on a day-to-day basis to connect. So.
And anybody that's going to submit a dinger of the day, don't come into the comment section with Otani or Judge. Like, come on, we already know that these guys can hit a home run any night.
Yeah, Cal Raleigh, a home run every game at this point.
Maybe those three guys you got to stay away from. Everybody else is fair. Yeah. Those three guys, that's just cheesy.
Yeah,
that'd be like picking Barnes or Sosa or McGuire in the middle of a home run chase. So.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, cool. Well, I think that wraps it up for us, man. I just want to say before we go, thank you for being available from the front seat of your car, man. I really appreciate that.
Absolutely. And, I'm glad to be here.
To JC and Cam who help us put this thing together. We've kind of stumbled through it a little bit, but they've been helping. And just want to say thanks to those guys. There's a lot of people working with us, some graphics and research that help put this together that you don't see right now. So appreciate those guys. And man, that's it for us, dude. Enjoy the rest of your night, Chris.
Yeah, absolutely. Really quickly, I'm just gonna do one more plug. Obviously, we're here every day, Monday through Friday, from 5:36, and then we're obviously talking baseball right now because that's the sport that's on. For those of you who are watching for baseball information, we do also have Dirty Leather, which is another baseball podcast on Sunday nights, leading up to Sunday Night Baseball. So if you're a baseball fan and you want a little bit more baseball content on the weekend, feel free to tune in to us there too. We're on from 6 to 7. Dirty Leather. So we got lots of baseball podcast content coming at you every day. So
you do a great job with that show too. It's really enjoyable.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you. All right, guys. Well, enjoy the rest of your night. Have fun. Good luck with your teams, and we will see you tomorrow.
We'll see you at the top of the leaderboards. Good night. That's us.
Good night.